What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jobbers and Goons, and today we have the banger you guys have been so excited to see. In one corner, we have the Fractured Sun, aka Current Hulk, and in the other, we have King of Hell Doomsday, aka Current Doomsday. Both are at their absolute peak of power, so why not throw it together? Fuck it. This is a massive brawl. It's one of the best fights you could possibly make between current characters, and honestly, I'm fucking excited for it. So if you guys are a fan of content like this, smash the like button, make sure to run it up, comment as much as you can. It helps me get in the algorithm. We're on the road to 30K, and I would love if you join the journey. Now, without further ado, make sure to check out my Discord, check out my Cash App, find any way you can support the kid, and with that out the way, first up is Fractured Sun. The Fractured Sun is, in fact, peak Hulk. He possesses the God Flesh of the Mother of Horrors, and the wrath or rage of the one above all and the one below all. All monsters in and beyond creation must be summoned to even try and stop him. His God Flesh, combined with his spirit, are enough that even Eldest, who has seen all monsters, even the one above all can't see or stop from forming, says Hulk, as the Fractured Sun, should be feared by all. Hulk also possesses the power and status as the vessel of God's wrath that his existence can unlock and free the Mother of Horrors. A being who can create copies of the one above all that burn even brighter than the Golden God himself. The followers of this Golden God, or Brother Deep, said that the power of Hulk being sacrificed would allow Brother Deep to return, and all of creation and its wrathful creator would be folded. Hulk burned with the same exact power used by the one above all when he attacked Brother Deep. Hulk took 0 damage in his battle with Brother Deep upon his return. Not only this, but Hulk literally shredded him like paper. Hulk's author, Philip Kennedy Johnson, says Brother Deep in his lore was true, so him no-diffing Brother Deep is actually insane. To put things in perspective for Hulk, this Brother Deep was going all out and was looking to get revenge on the one above all. This being went to spin the block on the one above all himself, and instead got spun on by the boy Hulk. Brother Deep, when restored, was confirmed to be capable of going to war with the one above all, but could do nothing against the Hulk in their fight. Man-Thing, aka Ted Sallis, went to Hulk about the War of Monsters. A monster called Swamp Witch was the strongest being Sallis had ever seen, the most ancient of powers. When he sensed Swamp Witch, he went forth to Hulk instantly, as he says Hulk could beat her when he could not. Upon seeing Swamp Witch and seeing her threaten the girl Charlie, Hulk went forth and instantly put hands on her with no issues. This is a being with power so insane that Man-Thing did not even see it as possible confronting alone, and said the nexus of all realities in creation would easily be destroyed by Swamp Witch. Hulk goes forth and literally destroys Swamp Witch without taking any damage. For reference, Man-Thing got stabbed immediately and was hurt, but he did also kinda hurt it, so credit to him. Still, Hulk put down a being of magic as old as the beings that protect the nexus of realities, the nexus of creation. Eldest confirms in the story that her and the strongest of the ancient monsters were made against the direct will and being of the one above all. Eldest also sees it as best to negotiate with Banner instead of battling the Hulk, which may be a result of seeing how Hulk honestly was hurting so many people. He's a matchup nightmare. With the absolute destruction of Swamp Witch, who is beyond Man-Thing in the Nexus, Hulk proved his attacks can hurt archetypes, concepts, magic users, and even rivals to the one above all. He is the Fractured Sun, the greatest of the monsters in Marvel. Next up is King of Hell Doomsday. This Doomsday is far beyond anything he has ever been before. He is a devil beyond heavens and hells. Even off his sheer memory, he can be brought back. The idea of Doomsday transcends ideas like death itself. Doomsday is the strongest foe Superman has ever faced in his time. Battling the Anti-Hulk, the Doomsday drained him beyond anything ever seen before. This would include beings that weaponize the power of the Great Darkness itself. Doomsday in Hell has adapted and evolved beyond infinite methods of torture, damage, and killings. Conceptual forms of damage do nothing to him now. He was designed perfectly for even the strongest beings in Hell. Even the strongest in the Hells must bow to King Doomsday. Doomsday, at his current level of power, must never escape Hell. If he does, it would signal the war with the Presence. It would be a power even the god of creation could not ignore. Supergirl is granted an armor designed to fight Presence in order to go against Doomsday, which was granted to her by First of the Fallen. Martian Manhunter also got involved, and both were quickly overwhelmed. Eventually, the entirety of Hell and its souls were needed to seal Doomsday from escaping, and they did so by using the idea of or concept of hope, which should sound very familiar to you guys given the tropes with Superman. However, as kind of hinted at the end of the comics, this is only a minor inconvenience to the King of Hell. You see, eventually this seal will break, and Doomsday will escape the Hell, which the First of the Fallen openly said is a feat so insane that Presence himself would have to intervene and stop the monster. Overall, this is one of the strongest versions, actually is the strongest version of Doomsday to ever exist, and is an absolute monster in any matchup. Before we get into this crazy conclusion that's honestly been haunting me for a time, I want to say a couple things. One, I'm sorry for the delay. I've been going through a lot. Personally, been dealing with a lot of things, including health stuff, so I just wasn't able to get it out the last couple days. It is what it is. You guys know I'm always trying to drop content fast as fuck. So, if I'm not dropping content, assume I'm like dying or something shitty's going on. That's pretty much what was happening. So, if you want to help me at all, donate, just send something to help. You can, my Cash App's in the description. I'll probably pin it too. But also, I want to shout out my guy Dazzo. I actually met him. He's a fellow Spurs fan. He saw me get into it with someone else. Realized I was a funny guy, and he had actually seen my YouTube channel before. His son Michael wants to be a YouTuber. Shout out Dazzo and Michael. Michael, I hope you make it in this game. It's a treacherous game, but I hope you succeed. All love to them. Shout out Spurs Nation. Now back into this. This is the hardest battle I've ever done. Like, this King in Hell Fractured Sun is the toughest battle for me to give my ultimate conclusion on. It's one with two characters who have essentially reached some of the highest peaks possible within their own verse. We have a Doomsday who is called the strongest to ever exist in Hell, and the implications of that are crazy. A lot of people disagree that extends to Lucifer, and that's fine, but we do know if he would have escaped, which he was going to, Presence himself would have had to intervene. So that says something. Now, on the other side, Hulk is absolutely zero diffing everything, including rivals to the one above all. I mean, he's walking through no damage. Man-Thing, Brother Deep, Swamp Witch, it's crazy. Like, it's a disturbing amount of, I'm going to be honest, wank coming Hulk's way. He's the strongest there is. He's going to tear through every monster in creation until he wins. If you were to ask me who would win in this clash, it's kind of tricky. Like, for one, if you were, I got to look at this like, who am I betting on? If I was to make this bet, I wouldn't be confident in my bet. What I mean by that is, if you bet against me, I 100% understand why. Genuinely feel like there's great arguments for both. And my bet, who wins first? Probably Hulk. This version of Hulk scales to the rage of the one above all, or the one below all, which is just a facet of the one above all. A weapon used to kill something because his initial weapon, which for a long time we thought was the strongest in Marvel, which is love, was not useful against Brother Deep. Rage was created, and that is what Hulk encapsulates. He has that same rage in which the God Flesh of the Mother of Horrors allows him to contain that. I feel he is currently probably at a little higher level than Doomsday and would put him down initially. You could also argue he can open the Green Door. It's blatantly stated he can access realms like the Green Door, or even where the Mother of Horrors is currently located. If he had to do that, he probably could do it. I do see him initially putting down Doomsday, and his ability to take out creatures that seemingly have archetypal defenses, reality warping defenses, conceptual defenses, all that. Swamp Witch was supposed to just tank all that. Man-Thing had no way to put her down, yet Hulk could. Hulk also put down Brother Deep, who was going to be raised to go against the One Above All. So, in my opinion, the boy Hulk probably wins this one. Can he permanently put down Doomsday? Probably not. Do I see Doomsday putting down Hulk? Probably not. So I would go with who would beat the shit out of the other. Hulk will go all day. Fractured Sun will fight all day. Probably would put down Doomsday if he absolutely had to. There could be an argument for opening BFR with like the Green Door or to the Mother of Horrors. Regardless, if my bet was on who would win the fight, probably Fractured Sun. But again, I could understand if you would argue the other side. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Regardless of what you think on the matchup, these two are some of the strongest in comic books, are insanely OD characters. And this was a really fun matchup to do. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Sorry, I fucked that one up. And I had a lot of fun doing this. I'm glad to be back to content. It's been a couple days, and I will see y'all later. Peace.